Shedeur Sanders get good news from a ESPN analyst, and also what will Andrew Berry do in his upcoming draft if a certain running back is available at that pick number 6 in the first round. Let's get ready to talk about it all right here on Sports Talk with B. Watts. Let's get this show started. Let's go.
God hand on me, that's enough, ay, we good, on me, God got his hand on me, any devil try to plan on me, gon' need a plan B, you can plan on me, but we good, on me, God got his hand on me, too blessed if you know what I mean, ay, we good, on me, God got his hand on me, any devil try to plan on me, gon' need a plan B, you can plan on me.
Shedeur Sanders gets good news from a ESPN analyst where they was on ESPN talking about the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation. But before I show you the video, let's take a look back at Todd Monken. Everything that he had to say at the NFL owners meeting. As I listened to Todd Monken, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, I came out of that more encouraging about this Cleveland Browns team than I had been in a long time. Not because Monken was flashing and made wild promises, but because everything he said made sense. And without him ever saying a name, he basically told us everything that was wrong before he got there. Well, the first thing I want to address is Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Look, I understand Monken is being carefully public, but when you actually listen to what he says, Shedeur Sanders is the guy going into OTA. Monken said the reps are going to be based on what we have seen in the past, where the year ended last year. That's Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders started the last 7 games of last year. He won the last 2 games against divisional opponents, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. So when I listened to Todd Monken talk, even though he didn't name Shedeur Sanders the starting quarterback, even though he didn't mention Shedeur as being the front leader of the quarterback room, man, you also just got to listen to the words that he said. Remember, these are his words. He's saying this. Monken said the reps are going to be based on what we have seen in the past, where the year ended last year. When it ended last year, he even went on and said, when they asked him about, have you looked at Deshaun Watson tapes? Todd Monken said no. He said no. He didn't mention Dylan Gabriel. Only thing he mentioned about Dylan Gabriel was he haven't seen him. So if he haven't heard or seen or talked to Dylan Gabriel, if he haven't watched any films from Deshaun Watson, and every day since he been there, he said that Shedeur Sanders has been in the building and came up to his office to holler at him. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if I'm listening to Todd Monken, and everybody's been saying he's a straight shooter family, they say he's tell it like it is. He just tell you what's on his mind. He ain't going to tell you nothing wrong, right? If I'm listening to everything that he said, I have no doubt that Shedeur Sanders will be the starting quarterback going into OTAs. I promise you that. Listen. Let's listen to a ESPN analyst talk about Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland quarterback room. ESPN analyst.
The best ability you can have is availability. And that's what Deshaun Watson hasn't been able to provide. The injuries are what they are. Back-to-back season injury, your Achilles twice. Dylan Gabriel as well had the concussion, had a shoulder injury. He hasn't been available. And all Shedeur has done is put his head down, be there when the team needs him. He's had some ups. He's had some downs. I think he's in a perfect position. And he's handling it the right way. He's in the facility. He's around the facility. He wants to have this job be his. And he's going to be an opportunity where he's going to have the best opportunity, I think, to take that job. I think the Deshaun thing, What are we hanging on to with Deshaun? Even before the injury, I think with the fully guaranteed contract that he got, it was kind of, well, he had a window of time with the Texans where he looked like a top 10 quarterback, but it wasn't his entire time there. And now after the catastrophic injuries that he's had, I think we saw the Browns turn the page, and now they're flipping it backwards. I think they need to turn the page to one of these young guys, and right now, to me, that's Shedeur.
It's been too long for Deshaun. That's what I would say on that.
That's the ESPN analyst talking about the Cleveland Browns situation. And Shedeur Sanders. Listen, Shedeur Sanders won game last year with the worst offense in the league. But when Dylan Gabriel got his opportunity, Dylan Gabriel got the most reps, he was the most prepared, and they spent more time with Dylan Gabriel in developing him, that's Kevin Stefanski, than Shedeur did. Shedeur went out there with a bunch of bag-ups by the time his time was called to go in to be the starting quarterback. The offensive line was in shambles. The offensive line wasn't up to par. Offensive line was a bunch of bag-ups, and Shedeur still somehow won 3 games out of the 7 that he started. But guess what? Wait, hold on. He could have won 2 more of them games. Oh, yeah. He should have won the Tennessee game. He should have won the Buffalo game also. Because when you look at the special team play, and you look at the play calling, and you look at the situation that the head coach put you in, and you got to understand how many points that defense gave up against Tennessee, one of the worst, the worst offense in the league at that time. Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns should have won that game. So I'm saying, I don't understand what the fuss about. I don't understand why they won't say Shedeur Sanders is going to be the starting quarterback publicly. I just don't understand that. But hey, that's their opinion. But I just believe, just like many other people, Shedeur has the upper hand going into OTAs. Going into OTAs, Shedeur Sanders will have the best opportunity to take that first snap with the first team offense. I just do. All right? All right. We're moving on. Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, have a big decision to make when it comes to this NFL draft. When you look at the NFL draft, Andrew Berry have already told us he's going to concentrate on the offensive side this year, right? He done address the offensive line and free agents. He done address a tight end, a blocking tight end. Well, when it comes to the draft, many of us, especially me, looking at the team right now, we need some wide receivers. And we need a offensive lineman, a left tackle also. So there are some of those players in this draft, especially at the wide receiver. But, hear me on this. What if, I'm just saying what if, a running back, especially the one from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love is a baller, shot caller, a go-getter. What if he's available at that number 6? Do you draft Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame, or do you draft Cornell Tate if he's still there, or either one of these wide receivers? Cornell Tate, Jordan Love, you got my man there from USC, right? But still, there's Jeremiah Love. All 4 of them there, sitting there at that number 6. And no other team have called you to move up, and so you can't trade out that pick. What should Andrew Berry do? Get a wide receiver at that number 6 pick? You still got 9 picks in the draft. Or do you go with Jeremiah Love? I know Quinshon Judkins is still on the team, but he coming off an injury. I know we also got Dylan Sampson from last year also. But you got Jeremiah Love, one of the best running backs in this upcoming draft. Do you draft him to go along with the running back room that you got? Because Todd Monken's offense is built around a running game. It's built around a running game. He did that at the University of Georgia. He ran the ball when he was the offensive coordinator. He did it at the Baltimore Ravens. He ran the ball when he was with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. They ran that football. So the way they done constructed this team right now, especially on the offensive line, they done upgraded. If Jeremiah Love is right there at that number 6, would you want Andrew Berry to upgrade the running back room as that 6th pick? 6th pick overall. That's their first pick of the NFL draft. Should Andrew Berry draft Jeremiah Love? Put it in the chat and let me know. If it were me, I had to go get that boy, y'all. I'm sorry. We gonna run the ball. So we got a two-headed monster with Quinshon Judkins and Jeremiah Love. That's a no-win situation. Now, when it comes to that 24th pick, I also still go get me a wide receiver or a offensive lineman because I still got a number 39 pick. You got 3 picks in the top 40. You can get Jeremiah Love is there, you take him. Then you go get you 1 wide receiver. Then you go get your offensive line. And you still gonna have 6 picks left to do whatever you want to do in this upcoming draft. Only thing I'm trying to tell you, you got to take the best player available if you don't trade out of that pick. If you don't trade out of that pick, that number 6 pick got to go to the best player available on the offensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you watching Sports Talk with B. Watts. I'm your host, Bernard Watts. Do me a favor, you got to do me a solid. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you don't mind. Hit that notification button. It'll let you know whenever I go live or drop a video. Will you do that for me? All right. I appreciate that. Until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Peace.
Niggas want to whoop me on the game? Hey, there's this boxing game this nigga keep whooping me in, and he knocked me out like 3 times today, so now I'm gonna have to see him in real life. All right. I'm gonna just get up all up in there. I'm gonna just get all up in there. Hey. Oh shit. Fam, show him what Deontay Wilder did to me earlier.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase. That's what you got to chase.
Maybach music.